Greetings! Happy spooky month. You know what's scary? Losing your soul. That sucks. You need that, I think. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you're just like, soulless? I can do that. Easy. No problem. Regardless, that happened to the subject of this video, Dakkon Blackblade. I'm very passionate about this magic character. If you couldn't tell by the fact that I literally carry the Blackblade title, I would go so far as to say I'm the #1 Dakkon Blackblade enjoyer. Ever. Dakon drip. We got the Blackblade. Dakon. This isn't... Nope, this is the real one. Go to reprint moment. Italian version. Dakon drip. We got the Dakon drip. Ooh. New Dakon drip lately. Check that out. Dakon enjoyer right here. #1. Baby. So, if you think you're more passionate about Dakkon Blackblade, think again. The #1 Dakkon Blackblade enjoyer spot occupied by this person right here. Although, the #2 through infinity spots, they're open. And hopefully after this video, you will be a fellow Dakkon Blackblade enjoyer. Because I'm going to tell you everything I can about Dakkon Blackblade and his story. What's he all about? We're going to find out right now. So Dakkon's story starts way back in the day. I'm talking pre-mending, pre-Brothers War levels of old. Not like pre-Fall of the Throne old. I'm pretty sure Dakkon's lifespan is like, what, -2000 AR? And the lifespan of most pivotal figures in the Fall of the Throne was like -8000. I could have my dates wrong, and there could be snarky comments plastering the screen, giving you the actual dates from future me editing this, and I hope I'm getting a kick out of making fun of past me. Anyways, this happened a long time ago, is what I'm basically trying to tell you. Where Dakon is from is a little island on Dominaria known as Corondor. And you might be thinking, I've never heard of Corondor. That's because Corondor's heyday, I want to say it's come and gone, but like, girl, it has never arrived. Most of the time when we go to Dominaria for like a big story, all of it's happening in Terracer. That's where New Argive is and all that. Sometimes stuff happens in Shiv and Jamura. Not in Corondor though. Speaking of Jamura, above Jamura, that's where Corondor is. It's like almost smack in the middle of the map of Dominaria. But anyway though, that's where Dakon is from. And Dakon, before he was a planeswalker, was a blacksmith. And he was a great blacksmith. He was one of the greatest blacksmiths. He regarded himself very highly. I think at one point he says that he believed the gods themselves blessed him with his blacksmith skill. Okay, yeah, he's got a little bit of an ego and hubris problem, but like... it's honestly the least of the problems he has, just saying. So Dakon was a renowned blacksmith. People were coming to him left and right to get armor, weapons, stuff like that. You know what a blacksmith does. But one day, Dakon was approached by a very unorthodox client. This client was Geyadrone Dihada, but in disguise. I don't think she rocked up to Dakon's establishment looking like the tentacled demon woman that she actually is, but I mean, I think even if she did show up looking like that, I don't think Dakon really would have cared. Anyways, Dihada appeared to him one day and commissioned Dakon to make her a sword. But not any kind of sword. She wanted a sword that had the ability to suck out somebody's soul. Kind of a tall ask, but it's okay. She has enough to give Dakon in return. And what was she going to give him in return? Well, she showed Dakon the abilities of mana and magic, and she could sense within him a latent planeswalker spark. And she said, listen, Dakon, I will make you a planeswalker, which is basically making you a god, because we're living in the pre-mending era, if you give me this, like, soul-sucking sword thing. And you've got 10 years to do it, plenty of time. All right, cool, thanks, bye. So the stakes are established. 10 years to make a blade that will suck out someone's soul in exchange for unimaginable godlike powers and the ability to literally travel to different dimensions. I'm sorry, but I would hop right on that. And Dakon did. He spent every waking moment working on this sword. He spent weeks just planning what it would look like. He picked up a little bit of black magic to try and figure out how to like make it suck out swords. Because he could make the sword. That's not the hard part. It's the soul-sucking part that was a little bit of a steep learning curve there. But he kind of figured out a formula that might work. There was trial and error involved, though. First, he thought, okay, while I forge it, what if I, like, put my blood in it? Like, what if I forged it with my own blood? Ooh, that's gotta do something. It didn't really do much at all. Just has his blood in it. But hey, Dakon fun fact number 1, Blackblade, it has Dakon's blood in there. So, nice. But Dakon figured, okay, the blood thing wasn't really working out. Hey, it was worth a shot. Maybe we turn the dial up to like 10 and just like stab somebody with the blade while it's like white hot. And maybe the blade will like do something with my blood and then like their soul will come out. Maybe that'll work. Okay, I'll try that. But I don't think there's anybody around I can just like stab with a sword. Oh wait, I have a son.
What? I don't like where this is going.
I can stab my son. And that's what Dakon did. He called his young son Darren into his forging room. Yeah, I know a couple of things about blacksmithing, guys. I'm sure that's very evident by the way that I speak about it. Okay, yeah. I visited the Skyforge, alright? I've spoken to Yorlin Greymane. I basically know everything about this. Don't even question me. Anyways, Dakon calls his son into his workspace and is like, could you close your eyes for a second? And pulls the white-hot sword out of the forge. Yeah, and just plunges it into his son's body, and his son dies. Rest in peace. But his soul gets sucked out. So success! You're out an offspring, but you're one step closer to being a really super cool planeswalker guy. So, whatever. I'm not concerned, says Dakon. So, yeah. Dakkon Blackblade fun fact number 2, he had a son that he killed. Listen, I never said Dakon was the good guy. I just want to make that clear. I mean, look at him. What about him says, this is the good guy that fights for righteousness and good values? No. He's a cool dude with a shadowy face and shadowy blade and shadowy armor with shadowy morals. Okay? He's not the good guy. He is not Gideon. Anyway, so progress was made, and Dakon thought, alright, so the whole killing someone while I cool the blade thing seems to actually work for some reason, and suck their soul out. So, I'm gonna go and purchase thousands of slaves and just systematically slaughter them with the blade to kind of like level up its soul suck skill, I guess. Dakon also would just like join random battles that were being fought throughout Corondor. Like if there was like a war going on, Dakon would just charge in there with Blackblade like, hey guys, I'm here now. I'm working on a project, so, you know. So, like I said, dedicated. So, after the 10 years pass, Dihada returns, and Dakon presents Blackblade to Dihada, and he's very proud, super proud. And Dihada's like, oh, alright, sweet, you did it. Cool. Boom, you're a planeswalker now. Also, boom, I'm gonna plunge the sword into your shadow, and that's gonna suck out your soul and your shadow. Thanks, idiot. And then she planeswalks away. And Dakon is left broken, soulless, and very confused. I mean, why would Geyadrone Dihada commission a sword, use it to betray the dude that made it, and then give him godlike powers so that he could potentially hunt her down and destroy her? Like, what's her MO here? What's the end goal? Well, you will find out, and you will be kind of impressed, because I personally am not a fan of Geyadrone Dihada for obvious reasons, but I will say the woman knows how to make a plan. She really does. It's just, I can't describe it. I really can't. You'll see what I mean later on, but let's continue. So Dakon is left soulless, broken, upsetty, and what does he do? He mopes. He mopes for like centuries. Because like, what is he gonna do? He killed his son, so he doesn't have his son to bother. There was never any mention made of a wife or a girlfriend or a spouse, so that's out of the question. Yeah, he's a planeswalker, but like, you know, I'm sure having a soul would have made the experience a little more enjoyable. And he doesn't even have Blackblade. What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? So he just mopes. Just straight up mopes. Until one day, he is summoned to the side of a young boy. Now, who is this boy? This boy is Carth. Carth the Lion. Carth actually, fun fact, had no name, but he was from the city of Carth, so everyone just started calling him Carth. And the nickname Carth the Lion comes from Dakon. That's a cute little nickname that he gave to Carth. And also, Carth the Lion is the first of the Carthalian bloodline. Oh, Dakkon Blackblade. Fun fact number 3. Carthalian comes from Carth the Lion, which was a nickname that Dakon gave to Carth. There you go. Moving on. So he's summoned to aid Carth, and Dakon is not happy. Obviously, he spent the last 100+ years molting. He's not gonna exactly be excited to be summoned to help some rando out. But this rando isn't just seeking the aid of Dakon just because. He wants Dakon's help because he wants to kill Geyadrone Dihada. And Dakon's like, oh, I guess this will work. Now, there's a couple more circumstances involved in Dakon just being summoned. So let's talk about Carth for a second. So when we meet Carth, which is in the Legend of Dakkon Blackblade comic, when we meet him in this comic, Carth is kind of going through it because unfortunately he watched his entire family and tribe be slaughtered before his eyes by but his life was thankfully spared because Geyadrone said he was the only one among his tribe that actually had a backbone, and she would revel in being able to rip it out of him. So that's a compliment, I guess. So she spares his life and throws him in jail. But when he is in jail, he meets like a monk dude that likes to eat rats and also says to him, hey dude, you don't like Geyadrone Dihada. Okay, I'm gonna do this spell and it's gonna transport you into a library, and I want you to get this like very specific book which will have 2 spells bookmarked. One of them summons a dude named Dakkon Blackblade. The other one will teleport you out of there just in case something happens and you need to leave. So yeah, do all that. Get the book, do the spell, summon Dakon, and then just like sick Dakon on Dihada. Carth goes along with this plan, but he's a little suspicious because this is the first time he ever met this dude, and he's like got this huge plan for him. Like, it's weird, but like he literally has nothing else to lose, so he just does it. Also, Dakkon Blackblade fun fact number 4. In the most recent Phyrexian invasion side story, The Education of Ulf, the book the Phyrexians are fighting to get and Ulf is fighting to keep, I guess. That book is actually the same book that Carth the Lion used to summon Dakkon Blackblade and all that. So there you go, a little crossover into the now era. Anyways, when Carth summons Dakon, he also binds Dakon's spirit to the Amulet of Tifu. This is for 2 reasons. Number 1, Dakon is very angry, if that wasn't already evident. And like I said, he's got some shadowy morals. So this is kind of a protection thing, because if Carth dies, so does Dakon. So Dakon isn't gonna kill Carth because Dakon doesn't want to die. The second reason is because Dakon is a planeswalker, and just about every planeswalker, when encountered with any situation that they find mild dislike in, they pull the old Tezzeret and get out of there. So we can't have Dakon leaving. So the Amulet of Tifu prevents him from killing Carth or getting Carth killed and planeswalking away. Now, Dihada in all this time has decided to wage war on Corondor and just slaughter everybody and make all of their bones into a giant walking citadel, which is like horrible, but also kind of cool. She also corrupted the Maro spirit of the forest and made him into like a horrible swamp king that does her bidding, also known as Solkanar. And Solkanar is also wielding Blackblade. So a whole lot of bad is happening. Dihada's up to no good. So Dakon and Carth rock up to Dihada's Citadel, and Dihada and Dakon do a little battling. They do more like bad-mouthing each other than battling. Dihada casts one spell and Dakon just straight up absorbs it. it. But in the midst of all of this, Carth, he catches a little bit of a stray from the spell Dihada directs at Dakkon, and he is on life support. So Dakkon is forced to teleport away from this battle and help Carth recover from his injuries. I also find the scene where Dakkon is trying to heal Carth extremely funny, because he's just straddling Carth yelling, "Live! Live! You've gotta live!" He's not exactly good at comforting people, I've come to realize. Dakkon does manage to heal Carth, and he doesn't die, and they have a little heart-to-heart by a little campfire. It's a sweet moment. Dakkon reveals some of his story to Carth, and Carth, after listening to the whole thing, responds with, "So much for greatness. Real classy, Carth. Dakkon decided to be vulnerable, and you just slapped him upside the head for it. Come on, dude." But their heart-to-heart moment is cut short by Geyadrone Dihada, obviously, because she catches up with them, and she brought Solkanar, and Solkanar brought Blackblade, and I brought snacks, because this is about to get crazy.
Get ready for the next battle.
Dakkon versus Solkanar. Solkanar is absolutely no match for Dakkon Blackblade. Dakkon this entire time is not even wielding a weapon. But so far in the story I've told to you, he has managed to absorb a spell from Dihada, punch the head off of, I think, like a griffin, and just completely devastate Solkanar the Swamp King. That's not to mention what he's gonna be doing coming up. Everybody out there who says Dakkon doesn't have the Blackblade, so he's screwed, he's probably dead. Dude, get a grip. Alright? Dakkon doesn't need Blackblade. Dakkon without Blackblade is like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the jelly. It's still good, but obviously it could be better. It still stands on its own as something that's great, and that's Dakkon for you. He's a peanut butter sandwich. Also, Solkanar is still alive, so I don't understand if Solkanar is still alive, Dakkon Blackblade can still be alive. Dakkon Blackblade fact number 4. He doesn't need Blackblade to be cool as cool. So there, haters. That's the whole fact. Anyways, so Solkanar absolutely bodied, but that doesn't mean that Dihada's gonna give up, because she summons a new challenger. Also, Dihada doesn't do like hand-to-hand combat. She's through and through a summoner. She just has other people do things for her, because she's kind of a queen like that. I know, I said I don't like Dihada, but like, she doesn't get her hands dirty. She knows when to fight and when not to, and that's kind of iconic. Still don't like her though. But anyway, so she summons 2 elder dragons. Just casually summoning 2 elder dragons. And this is a big deal, by the way. I feel like people get a little lost in the sauce about how important elder dragons are. Elder dragons, they're godlike beings. Yeah, Ugin and Bolas definitely stand out because they're elder dragons and planeswalkers. But they don't even need the planeswalker part, and they're already better than 90% of, like, everyone. Elder dragons are a big deal. And to be able to have 2 of them at your beck and call, that is nothing to tussle with. And Dihada's just out here summoning them. Like, what? So she summons 2 elder dragons, like I said. And not just any 2. She summons Chromium Ruel, the best elder dragon. No arguments. Alright, that's just objective fact. And Piru. And they're a couple. They're also related, but I don't want to talk about that. We don't meddle in the business of elder dragons. But she summons them, and Piru is immediately on the attack. She is coming for Dakkon. And Dakkon manages to bind Piru.
Oh no.
Like, just keep her held in suspension, which is a big deal. What? Again, he doesn't need Blackblade. He doesn't need jelly. Peanut butter's good enough. So he binds Piru and tries to get Chromium to kill Piru. But Chromium decides to get wise of this whole situation and also participate, because Chromium's just watching at this point. And he's like, what? No, I'm not gonna kill my sister girlfriend. That's stupid. I'm gonna suck your soul out of your body. And that's what Chromium just starts doing. Like, he starts pulling, I guess, kind of like the Planeswalker spark out of Dakkon. He is really wrecking Dakkon. Wrecking his whole day. And Dakkon just banishes Chromium from the plane. Just sends him to exile. Which, again, the fact that Dakkon Blackblade is able to straight up banish an elder dragon? Excuse me? But all of this exhausts Dakkon to a great degree. and Carth has to try and fend for himself. And so Carth wields Blackblade momentarily during this whole battle, and Geyadrone Dihada tries to convince Carth to give her Blackblade in exchange for she can make him a planeswalker. Ooh, but it doesn't work. This does not work on Carth. He is smarter than that, somewhat, and hands off the Blackblade to Dakon, and Dakon's strength is restored since he has Blackblade. He has the jelly. It's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's the classic, the duo. They're back, Dakon and Blackblade. And Dakon, he's ready to fight, but you know who else is ready to fight? Piru. And Piru grabs hold of Dakon and goes to fly away. But Piru made a fatal mistake, because she grabbed onto Dakkon Blackblade, who is holding a sword that is coincidentally able to suck out someone's soul. And Dakkon just drives the sword into Piru's heart and kills her. And she explodes. Now, this is a very big moment. So big that this is the reason why the Blackblade was sought after in the War of the Spark, because only weapon that has successfully killed an Elder Dragon. That's a big deal. Half of it, though, is Piru's fault. I mean, she literally picked up Dakkon like this. Just like Dakkon facing her with the... Like, I'm pretty sure one of his arms was free, and it was the one holding Blackblade. Like, all he had to do was that. But still, I mean, he got there. He got there. But yeah, Piru explodes. But it is with this explosion that Dihada's plan finally reaches its conclusion. And you might be thinking, whoa, what was her plan? Well, Geyadrone Dihada wanted the essence and the soul of an Elder Dragon, but she knew that she wasn't gonna get it by going toe-to-toe with an Elder Dragon herself. She's not a fighter, she's a manipulator. So, she found some gullible idiot that thought he was the greatest blacksmith in the multiverse, got him to make a sword that could suck out someone's soul, gave him the power to become one of the greatest warriors to ever walk the multiverse, and the anger, the drive to go after her. And in that meantime where he became one of the greatest warriors, she got herself 2 Elder Dragons, so 2 chances at this, and she just sat back and watched as her warrior, Dakon, killed one of the Elder Dragons, and all she needed to do was be present, so she could Dovahkiin her way into having the soul of an Elder Dragon within her. And that's exactly what she did. She absorbed Piru's essence and soul, and became even more powerful. Awesome. And just as a little cherry on top of this whole ordeal, she branded Dakon with her symbol, making him forever beholden to her beck and call. Great. Dakkon's doing real great. Yeah, that's definitely what he wanted. That's not what he wanted at all. So Dihada does all this and then just leaves, laughing maniacally. Ha ha ha. If anyone came out extremely on top here, it's Dihada. Like I said, the woman knows how to plan. I'm impressed by this whole thing because she did good and it worked. That's awesome. I gotta give her credit for that, honestly. But Dakkon's not happy. Carth tries to comfort him. That doesn't go well. I don't know how you comfort someone like, hey man, so sorry that you're forever beholden to this demon that you wanted to kill. Oops. Not all is bad because Carth is like, hey, you got your shadow back, Dakkon, because he was missing his shadow this whole time, if that wasn't made evident. And Dakkon and Carth go off into the sunset to form a new life together. As they say, let the shadows of the past point our way forward, or whatever they say at the end. That's really touching and nice. And from there, we don't really know what happens to Dakkon. He does participate in the Planeswalker War, but that comic was canceled. And we do see Blackblade Reforged pop up in War of the Spark, but what happened to Dakkon is questionable. Geyadrone Dihada is still alive as the recording of this video, and so is Solkanar. The Carthalian lineage is still around. Jared is still around. But Dakkon is a big old question mark. Personally, I believe he's still alive, but who knows, right? The multiverse is a weird and big place. I think he's out there molting still, though. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Also, you know, theory time. The Blackblade, right? The Blackblade Reforged that we saw in War of the Spark. I think it was fake. I'm gonna say it. This is my theory. I don't like theory crafting. I think the Blackblade Reforged is called the Blackblade Reforged because it was just a reforging of the original. It was a forgery. That's why it looks completely different and why it shattered on Bolos's little noggin. Because he's the one that sowed the seeds of, hey, there's this mystical little sword out there, had someone reforge it, and then bada bing bada boom. It was all a big ruse to severely damage the Gatewatch's morale. That's what I believe. But we don't know. And that's where I leave the story of Dakkon Blackblade for now. Maybe in the future I'll be able to make a part 2 to this and talk more about Dakkon, but for now, that's all we have. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed making this. This was all unscripted. I felt like I had to make this video. I'm still working on more lore videos, and also, thank you for all of the support on the last video about Daria. I did not expect that many people to tune into that, but I'm glad you all enjoyed it. And I'm welcome to all the new people. I'm at 200 subscribers. What? That's crazy. So, welcome all. Hello. And yeah. Oh my God. That's all for me. I'll see you in the next one.